What's up, everybody? It's your main man, Betta, back here and again, and welcome back to the Not Your Mama's Fantasy Football League Volume 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Welcome back to the program, baby. It's the end of the year. Week 15 power rankings. It's over for most. For the 12-team participants, 8 of which it's over. For 4, we've only just begun. Like the Carpenters did that song. So we're going to get into these rankings and then a little breakdown of the playoffs, to which they're just about to begin. They're right around the corner. So, without further ado, whoosh. Whoosh. Okay, hey, I like the whip. The whip sound effect, I've used it sparingly this season, and maybe next year I'll make sure I go, whip, whip, whoosh, more often. It'll be like, oh, you did good, whoosh. Oh, you didn't. You did bad. Well, that's a whoosh, too. 12th place team. We're going from the worst to the best. It's subjective, man. Okay. 12th place is Kickin with Younghoe. Finished the year with a 1-14 record. I think everyone knows kind of what happened. But something I did want to do is I wanted to take just a moment with every team just to go over, kind of the tale of the tape. It'll be different for everybody, I feel. But just a nice friendly reminder. At the beginning of the year, everybody had a chance. When we did the draft, I believe everybody under the God's green earth had a shot. They had a chance. For instance, when we look back at the draft and we see that Samuel took Najee Harris, James Conner, Kyle Pitts, Cortland Sutton, Allen Robinson, Tom Brady, Elijah Moore, Devonta Smith, Tony Pollard, and Mike Gesicki. If you had told me that at the beginning of the year you were going to get most of those players, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of those guys. Kyle Pitts is going to go to that next level. Najee Harris is going to lead the league in rushing, right? Allen Robinson in LA, he's going to do great. Devonta Smith, stud. And, Tony Pollard did end up being a major factor. So, tip of my cap and a wave of my sword to Samuel's team. And hopefully... also, Samuel wins the award for least waiver wire transactions this season. The Kickin with Younghoe, least waiver wire transactions with 0. So, we're going to move on to the 11th place team. 11. And the 11th place team is the Ideal Fantasy Team. That's right, formerly... literally Packers running back room. Sorry, a little dusty. Finished the year with a 4-11 record. Not the way Tanner would have wanted this to go, obviously. Drafting Cooper Kupp, Aaron Jones, Michael Pittman, Breece Hall, A.J. Dillon, Darren Waller, Russell Wilson, Trey Lance. Tough break for most of those guys. I think they basically all missed time. except for maybe the running back room of the Packers, which didn't live up to the hype. But we can give Tanner this award for the most waiver wire transactions this season. That's right. He had 46. A lot of good that did, my man. Anyway, Betta with Chedda was actually a close second. Ben did 42 transactions. Reigning defending champion. Always out there trying to, find the next thing. Final congratulations. Tip of the cap, wave of the sword, wave of the Harry Potter wand, Expectrola, to the Ideal Fantasy team, captained by the great Tanner Turner. Let's hear it for the boy. We're going to move on to the 10th place team, and the 10th place team in these here rankings is Pastor Cook. Alan, my man. All right, what a year. What a year indeed. Finished the year 5-10. Drafted Tyreek Hill, Leonard Fournette, Cam Akers, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, Elijah Mitchell, Matt Stafford, Zach Ertz, DeAndre Hopkins, Chase Claypool, the highest of hopes. Tip of the cap, wave of the sword, and better luck next year. Hope you and your family have a great frickin' Christmas. Happy New Year. The Cooks deserve it. The whole Cook clan. Give the whole Cook clan nice Christmas dinner, nice roast beast feast for the whole Cook clan. All right, that's 10th place. We're gonna move on to 9th place team. 9th place team in the rankings is, and it's the Chateau. It's the Chateau St. Bargles Winery. My team finished the year 7-8, losing record. I don't think I've had a losing record. Probably. Never mind. I don't even know what I'm talking about. What happened? I drafted Jamar Chase and DeAndre Swift. They both missed time. Terry McLaurin and Marquise Brown both lost their quarterbacks. Travis Etienne, Michael Thomas, Hunter Renfrow, Garrett Wilson, Raheem Mostert, David Njoku, Curtis Samuel. I did outscore the league in week 7. Scoring about 140 points, thanks to Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Raheem Mostert combining for 93 points for me. And I outscored the league again in week 13 as Joe Burrow, Tyler Lockett, and Terry McLaurin combined for about 80 points. Never really got my footing this year. Didn't really happen. What can we say? Not my year. But if it's not my year, I get to take a little joy knowing that at least it's someone else's. And then maybe next year I can get some sort of revenge. Moving on to the 8th place team. 8th place team these here rankings. And this team actually had a shot at playoff glory, although it was a very beautiful mind kaleidoscope of things that would have to happen. But it's Team Rob's. E. Leasy finished 8-7, drafted Alvin Kamara, Stephon Diggs, Ezekiel Elliott, DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers, Amon Ra, St. Brown, Miles Sanders, Christian Kirk, Drake London, Cordell Patterson, Russell Gage, Trevor Lawrence. These are some bona fide studs. Did I say bona fide? Meant bona fide. Boner. Okay, so Evan's team, Team Rob's, a.k.a. Team Boner Fide, the drafting of Stephon Diggs was a key factor in order for him to get those 8 victories that he did get. But what else can we say? I'll say a little message to Evan if he sees this before I see him. Christmas. Merry Christmas. See you for dinner. And don't forget the sausages. Okay, don't forget the sausages. Okay, we're gonna move on to 7th place team. 5-2. What you gonna do is 7, and the 7th place team in these here rankings is say. the ghost of Bongtown. Ghost of Bongtown. What a season indeed for Professor of Youth East Side Services, Andrew Brown Bear Desmarais. Let's see, he had the number 1 overall pick, and what did he do? He gave it to Jonathan frickin' Taylor, baby, which was probably the biggest foible, biggest faux pas of any team drafting anybody this year. He could have drafted literally anybody. The correct choice, more likely than not, would have been either Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey, or Josh Jacobs. I think that those are the 3 guys. Because Christian McCaffrey was with the Panthers early in the season, I don't think he had the same kind of stat lines. Josh Jacobs is the clear number 1 guy, but it's because he's had just a few games where he really exploded. Justin Jefferson was the number 1 overall pick. So we'll get there. But anyway, who else did he get? He followed up Jonathan Taylor with Keenan Allen. I just can't quit you, Keenan Allen, right? Was that what's going in your mind? You're like, oh, he's right there. I think I got to pick him. You know what? I'm going to pick him. And then what happens? He's made of glass. Nick Chubb, David Montgomery, Brandon Cooks, Dalton Schultz, Dak Prescott, Kareem Hunt, Robert Woods, Marquise Valdez-Scantling, Marvin Jones, and Jamal frickin' Williams in the 15th round. How bad of a pick Jonathan Taylor was in the first round doesn't even come close to comparing how good of a pick Jamal Williams ultimately would be in the 15th round. That was... if there's an award for best draft pick, I think that's it. 15th round, Jamal Williams. Nobody wanted Jamal Williams. Could have got him in any other round. And he got him in the 15th. DeAndre Swift went down, and Jamal Williams just was like the main guy. Anyway, what else we got? Nick Chubb also finished as a top 5 back. So, if JT lived up to his top 5 booking, Andrew would have probably had a much smoother ride this season, so to speak. So my notes say that the ghost will continue to roam the lands in search of his lost beloved. The little village where they grew up together. But what he does not know is that village burned down many moons ago. And the girl was just a dream. Okay, we're going to move on to the 6th place team. 6th place team in these here rankings. It's 5 in the 1. What you going to do? And it's Team Diaper Funds. Hey, let's hear it. Let's hear for the Corey. With his sons whose names are... He's got twin boys named Athen and Ragnar? It's not Ragnar. It's not Ragnar. I know one of them's Athen. They're beautiful boys. You're going to be captains of industry one day. So, my notes say, Corey, baby. I don't know. What can we say? He drafted Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, Mike Williams. That sounds good. Josh Allen, Adam Thielen, Juju Smith-Schuster, Ramondre Stevenson, Michael Gallup, Julio Jones. We can say that Corey does get this award for the most points scored this past weekend. And it's his 4th week outscoring the league. No one else has that many. 4 separate occasions. Corey scored more than anybody. And it's because of Josh Allen. Like, I'm not going to go through every performance, but we can just assume, like in week 5, Josh Allen, Dalvin Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, 87 points. Week 6, Josh Allen, Ramondre Stevenson, Juju Smith-Schuster, 75. In week 9, Joe Mixon, Josh Allen, Allen Lazard, 95 points. And then just now in week 15, Josh Allen, Dalvin Cook, Ramondre Stevenson. Those were his 3 big boys. combined for 92.5 points. Josh Allen is clearly the number one fantasy quarterback this season, only to be compared to by maybe the Patrick Mahomes or the Jalen Hurts of the world. I think any one of those three, it's dissimilar in terms of, I mean, if you have any one of them, it's like 1A, 1B, 1C. They're all basically the same. They're so close. But even with all that firepower, it's not enough to get into the playoffs. Finishes with an 8-7 record, 6th place in these power rankings. Best of luck to the Minnesota Vikings, Skol Vikings, who are more likely than not going to be in the playoffs, the real NFL playoffs this year. Bada bing, bada boom. Happy holidays to you, my guy. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and better luck next year. I know last year you were in the finals. This year you're not even in the playoffs. You got to feel a certain kind of way. Just text Ben a congratulations, buddy. I know that's how you guys roll. We're going to move on. Let me get a little lubrication. Okay, 5th place team. And what a nail-biter, white-knuckler, what's another nail biter synonym? A nail biter, hair raiser, a squeaker, a cliffhanger, suspensor, photo finish. I don't know. Those aren't very good, Merriam-Webster. I don't like that. Then that's not good enough for me. But we had a nail biter. What can we say? Oh, I'm sorry. Can you smell it? Also, did you hear it? Because I smelt it on Monday and I heard it on Sunday. And it's O-side, Betta go, baby. Yeah, Darren's team. 5th place. A remarkably close matchup that took place. How fun and silly was that? If anyone else was paying attention. Ultimately, the matchup between Katie's Grand Salami Time and Darren's O-side Betta go came all the way down to the wire. And, now you look at it and it's like, oh, well, Katie won by about 7, 8, not 9? About 9 points. She won by like 8.5 points. And so, she clearly had it. Well, she didn't. She didn't have it clearly. It's kind of like a Scottish. She didn't have it clearly. Because I was paying very close attention. My notes actually, with 3 minutes and 11 seconds left in the Sunday night football game. No, 3 minutes, 11 seconds left of the third quarter. So there's like 18 minutes left in this freaking game. Darren was winning by about 2 points. And Katie had Graham Gano, the kicker, for the Gigantes. That's how close it was. If Darren had won, he would be in the playoffs. But he didn't win. Katie's kicker, Graham Gano, did what he needed to do and got the points he needed to get. It was too much attrition for Darren's team. Losing guys along the way, Tyler Lockett was on this team. Let's go through who Darren drafted. We see that Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel, J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kyler Murray, Dawson Knox, Tyler Lockett, Melvin Gordon, Joshua Palmer, Jerick McKinnon. So, now, Tyler Lockett, I think he dropped at some point. Melvin Gordon got kicked off the team. Kyler Murray got injured and really never lived up to the hype. See, can I plug? I'm gonna plug this in while I go. Plug it in. Plug it in. Plug it in. Okay, here we go. So he drafted pretty well. I think he auto-drafted those first couple picks. But, I mean, Davante Adams and Deebo Samuel are legit. They ultimately finished, Deebo finished top 25, probably because he missed some time. Devonta finished third in wide receiver rankings. But, when he played Katie, he's playing Jerick McKinnon and James Cook. He's playing Joshua Palmer. He's playing Greg Dulcich. He's playing Andy frickin' Dalton, guys. He played Andy frickin' Dalton, who did better than his average. His average is 17. He scored 18. So, but when you're throwing out Andy Dalton, I put this I put this note in here. Let's see. Yeah, so Kyler Murray just couldn't stand the heat. I think it would be better if Darren had played Bill Murray. But when the chips are down and when Darren needed somebody the most, he played Andy frickin' Dalton, the Red Rifle. And I gotta say this to Darren and anybody else listening, watching. We want to welcome Darren. We want to welcome Darren to fantasy football. You were here with us last year, true. But this year, you played Andy Dalton all on your own. And when you ride high with that Andy Dalton, you're going to burn, baby. And I think a lot of us have been right there. Been right in your shoes. You throw Andy frickin' Dalton out there, hoping for the best. But you know it ain't going to go very good. It's Andy Dalton. So, man, I love you, D. It was close. Can you believe it? It came down to just like a handful of points. I mean, Davante in this last game got not even 5 points. If he had gotten his average, which by the way was 17. Davante's average was 17 this year, which is freaking nuts. If he had gotten his average, Darren would have won. In fact, he didn't need to get his average. He needed to get 2/3 of his average. He just needed to get 12 points. He just needed a touchdown. Also, Greg Dulcich, where were you? Your average was 6 points this year. You only got 1.5. What the hell was that all about? I mean, badass that Zay Jones and Jerick McKinnon combined for like 62 points. I mean, that kept you in it right there. But that's 5th place. Darren's squad, better luck next year, my man. Hey, made it real exciting and interesting right down to the frickin' wire. Still had a shot. But, c'est la vie. We're going to move on to the top 4 teams. Congrats to everybody else. You're done. You lost. You didn't do good enough. Say your prayers. Better luck next year. Take some notes. This game might be bad. This might just be a bad game. I think I'd rather play like solitaire. Like just kick me in the balls and then tell me to go play solitaire by myself, and I'll probably have more fun and waste less time. Anyway, we're gonna move on. 4th place team, playoffs. What is? I'm blind. Okay, 4th place. What do we got? All right. Tuesday morning. Oh, man. 4th place. And we got grand salami time. Well done, Katie. Locking in your 3rd place position here. I'm just pulling up the bracket. The playoff winners bracket. Round 1, week 16. And it's all the way. We're going to go over the 4 teams, then we're going to go over the matchups, and then we're done. This is a long video, and it is what it is. So, Fourth place, Grand Salami Town finishes the year 10-5, just like third place, just like second place. 10-5 seem to be the very popular photo finish of a moment. So what can we say? Had to beat Darren. Beat Darren. Needed to score 120 some points, so it's had to go do a good performance to get that last hump of victoire. And we draft Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Josh Jacobs in the 5th round. That is competing very much with the Jamal Williams best draft. I'd say maybe actually give the award to Katie because she is in the playoffs. She did win enough, and Josh Jacobs was a major factor in that. And being a 5th round guy to then be basically a 1st round number 1 at his position, maybe you can't. Maybe that's as good as it gets. So anyway, Jalen Hurts in the 6th round. That's lovely as well. Let's see, Gabe Davis, Damian Pierce, Hunter Henry, Chris Olave, Noah Fant, and she did get Tua Tagovailoa in the 14th round. Ultimately, Jalen Hurts would be a top 3 quarterback. Josh Jacobs, Christian McCaffrey are essentially the top 2 running backs this year. You could argue that. And CeeDee Lamb, top 10 guy. Katie led the league in scoring on 2 occasions. 2 different weeks. It was in week 10, thanks to Jalen Hurts, Josh Jacobs, CeeDee Lamb combining for about 80. And then again in week 12, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Hurts, and T. Higgins combined for more than 100 points. So, congrats to Katie. Making it on the dance floor. And she'll be taken on, as the 4th seed typically does, she will be taken on the 1st seed. My power rankings, for the first time ever, perhaps, are accurate to what is actually taking place on the app, which is kind of like a Christmas miracle. But anyway, we're going to move on to the 3rd place team. The rankings. 3rd. And we have Betta with Chedda. Ben did it. Congratulations to Ben. Big Bad Ben. Big Bag Ben coming. The reigning, defending champion. I'm glad that he's back. That there's a representative of the championship of last year. And, what can we say? He gets to defend his Burger King crown, at least in this 1st round. The 3rd seed, he takes on the 2nd seed. All of these matches should be as good as it gets, I think. We're going to go over them. He had the 7th overall pick. He elected to get Derrick Henry. Lovely pick. At 7, Derrick Henry. Always thought that was kind of low for Derrick, although, DH, he's not what he once was. He still is, a bona fide guy. He followed that up by getting Travis Kelce, Mike Evans, Jerry Jeudy, George Kittle, Lamar Jackson, Rashad Bateman, Damian Harris, Michael Carter, Kirk Cousins, Pat Freiermuth, Devontae Parker, Christian Watson. Travis Kelce turned out to be the best tight end in fantasy, so there's that. Kittle is top 5. Derrick Henry's top 5. And Ben did lead the league in scoring on 3 occasions in weeks 4, 8, and again in 11. Travis Kelce was a big part of all of those weeks. So, give credit what credit is due. We can also give Ben these 2 awards that are kind of fun. He has the smallest margin of victory this season. So you can get out of the sun. Go over here. Hello. Me again. We're over here now. How about over here? You want to go over here? Come on, son. Get out of here. Okay, what about like that? How about like this? We move around. Just keep going. We're going to keep moving around. And maybe we'll go. Oh, hey. So, what happened? You going to play some music? Oh. don't know what just happened. Oh, we're doing this now. Cool. Forgot what I was doing. Oh, that's right. I'm doing this. So, Ben's team, blah, blah, blah. It's really good. Made the playoffs. The least margin of victory, the smallest margin of victory. And it was when he defeated the Fancy Lads in week 13 by 0.82 point, less than 1 point. But that's not all. Ben also has the largest margin of victory this season. By in week 8, he defeated Kickin It with Younghoe by over 93 points. You know, there's been weeks where I didn't even score 93 points, let alone defeat my opponent by 93 points. So, congratulations to Big Bad Ben. He made it again to the playoffs. Lots of stats and awards, and good on that. And we're going to move on to the second place team. Second place team in this year's rankings is Limp Biscuit. Limp Biscuit is second place this season, headed into the playoffs. He is the second seed. He was the first seed most of this season, so we can give it up for that. But, you know, very interesting. He lost 3 in a row going into this moment. 3 consecutive losses for Michael, which is not the best look. But at the end of the day, tip-top team. What can we say? The second overall pick, he got Austin Eckler, Saquon Barkley, Mark Andrews, Jalen Waddle, Justin Herbert, Amari Cooper, Antonio Gibson, Brandon Ayuk, Rashad Penny, Tyler Boyd, Alexander Mattison, Jarvis Landry. He did outscore the league on 2 occasions. In week 2 and again in week 3. Week 2, week 3. I also think that in week 2, his score of 151.16 is actually the highest point total that any team achieved all year long. So, good for Michael. That was the high watermark for anybody. It was 151 points. We've done better in the past, but 151 this year. You know, you gotta give it up, because I think that like half of those points were just Jalen Waddle and Mark Andrews. You know, so well done. We can see that this very solid team, comprised of a top 10 quarterback in Justin Herbert, a top 3 tight end in Mark Andrews, Austin Eckler and Saquon Barkley are top 5, and Amari Cooper, Jalen Waddle, I think those are both like top 10 kind of guys. So very kind of balanced team, not insanely good in any one denotion. But hey, he's here. He's the second seed. He'll be taking on the third seed, and we'll do a little breakdown of that matchup in just a moment. God, this video is long. We're going to move on to the first place team. And these here rankings, the top seed going into the playoffs, and it's the Fancy Lads. Whitno. Whew. At long last, we made it. You know, we made it a long journey from the lowly basement depths of years past to we're at the top of the mountain. The only 11-4 team deserving of the number 1 spot. I don't know the word. It can't be helped. It can't be ignored. Number 1 team, Fancy Lads. How did this happen? Well, he had the 3rd overall pick. Used it on Justin Jefferson. So, Justin Jefferson, he followed that up with Javonte Williams. Whoa, ouch. Can you imagine if he had followed up Justin Jefferson with literally anyone else? Literally anybody else. I'm just going to share with you a little draft recap, okay? He picked up Javonte Williams, but he could have picked up Saquon Barkley, Keenan Allen, Nick Chubb, Mark Andrews, A.J. Brown, Kyle Pitts, T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Mike Williams, Ezekiel Elliott, J.K. Dobbins, Josh Allen, Breece Hall, Jalen Waddle. I mean, obviously he could have picked up Josh Jacobs. There's so many guys he could have got instead of Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams, a lot of hype. If he had stayed healthy, still probably wouldn't have done all that much. But in spite of that, he still did really well. 11-4, obviously. Also picked up A.J. Brown, Patrick Mahomes, Devin Singletary, Darnell Mooney, T.J. Hawkinson, Jacoby Myers, Kenneth Walker III, Cole Kmet, Justin Tucker, Justin Fields. So the Justin Jefferson was a major hit. And finished the year as the number one receiver in football. Patrick Mahomes is a three-way tie for best quarterback. A.J. Brown, top 5. T.J. Hawkinson is top 5. Justin Tucker is top 2, I think. I do enjoy that Whitney has a plethora of Seattle Seahawks like Kenneth Walker, Geno Smith, Marquise Goodwin, Travis Homer. You love to see it, although none of them really perform all that great. Kenneth Walker's fun to watch, but there's still, it's rookie offensive tackles with a rookie running back. What are you going to do? So, Whitney led the league in points just one time in week 1 with 147 points because A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, and Mahomes combined for 100 points. So, that's that. That's the rankings, 12 through 1. That's it. So, congratulations to all the teams. We're going to do a very quick breakdown of the playoffs here. I think in the past I've broken this up into multiple videos. I'm also not like being all goofy and like drinking a drink and whatever. So this video is taking longer. Even this preamble that I'm doing right now, completely arbitrary, not needed, not required. But here we go. There are 2 games. We're in the fantasy playoffs now. Darkness has covered the land. We have the first seed, the Fancy Lads, taking on the 4th seed, Grand Salami time. Major factors in this particular matchup. On one side, the Fancy Lads, obviously, their stars are Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown. You got Patrick Mahomes is at home against the Seahawks. Okay? He's gonna dominate. You have Justin Jefferson at home against the New York Giants. He's going off. A.J. Brown is playing at the Dallas Cowboys. That's divisional. It's an important matchup. A.J. Brown is a focal point of that Eagles offense. And then, of course, you have guys like Kenneth Walker III, T.J. Hawkinson, Jacoby Myers, Devin Singletary. I don't know, how well are those extra guys really going to step it up. Kenneth Walker hasn't really been playing super great, and I think he missed it some time. On the other side, we have Grand Salami time is playing Josh Jacobs at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers season, I think, is questionable. Josh Jacobs they've been grinding him. Does he have it in him to have another big outing? I don't know. Christian McCaffrey's at home against the Washington Commanders. That's favorable. I don't know if Debo's coming back. If Debo does come back, that makes it even more favorable, I say. And then, of course, Jalen Hurts at the Dallas Cowboys. It's very interesting because Whitney has A.J. Brown, so that's going to poach some of Jalen Hurts' juice there. Every touchdown that A.J. Brown gets, they're basically sharing that touchdown. So I think that gives a little bit of a more edge to Whitney. CeeDee Lamb, Gabe Davis, Jerry Jeudy, perhaps Noah Fant, T. Higgins. These are some characters that Katie has at her disposal. So the Eagles-Cowboys game, crucial game, and both teams are projected to get about 117, 118 points. So the app thinks these are evenly match-up situations. So that's the first game. I would give the edge to Whitney's team just because of that, like I said, the A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, that kind of like muddies the waters a little bit for Katie. And I just think that Patrick Mahomes and Justin Jefferson have their at-home favorable matchups. So, move on to the other game of consequence. And we have game number 2. Second seed. The second seed is Limp Biscuits taking on the third seed and the reigning defending champion, Betta, with Chedda, formerly the Under the Steps Boogeyman. Some major players to recall is that Limp Bizkit's got that Austin Eckler, Mark Andrews, Saquon Barkley. Those are his major players. Other guys like Justin Herbert, Amari Cooper, Garrett Wilson, maybe a Jalen Waddle, maybe a Tyler Boyd, maybe a Brandon Ayuk. I think that Michael has some decisions to make. A lot of those guys have been underperforming, so it'll be interesting. His main 3 guys have got to step it up. And then on the other side, Ben has Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce, George Kittle. And Travis Kelce's at home against the Seahawks. If you've been watching the Seahawks, they cannot stop the tight end position. George Kittle just got like 25 points on him. Speaking of George Kittle, he's at home against the Washington Commanders. He's probably going to go off against them too. Some other people include Christian Watson, Chris Olave, Brock Purdy. Kind of an X factor. You don't really know what to expect from Brock Purdy. And he might even be playing a guy like Marlon Mack or a Damian Harris. I don't know. So that's the other game. I would give the edge to... It's tough to say. My heart... my heart goes to Michael because Michael's performed so well all year. However, the matchups this weekend, Derrick Henry's at home against the Houston Texans, by the way. So it's just, I look at these and I think Ben has very favorable matchups going in his favor. So that's it. We've made it to the first round of the Not Your Mama's Fantasy Football League Volume 5. We have our teams. We have our matchups. I think these truly are the best teams of this season. So it's a very befitting 4-piece of teams. I think we can all agree. And it's time for them all to put it together. One final disclaimer for the teams that are in the playoffs, of course. The winner of the championship matchup, which is not this weekend, but next weekend, they will be awarded $720 cash money via the Venmo Money app. It is based on the buy-in of $60 and the 12 participants playing this season. So, one caveat that I like to share is that the winner does win the money. The winner wins the money. If you win and you won, then you won the money. Now, what do you do with the money is up to you. If you want to give second place some charity like their buy-in back, it is your choice as the benevolent or malevolent victor. Do you get to spit on them? Or do you say, here you go, little buddy. You get your buy-in back. You did good. Good on you. Because if I was in second place, I would want my buy-in back. Well, if that's you, then Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and the Harvest Moon. If you'd prefer to keep it to yourself because you won and you're the winner. Tip of the cap. Wave of the Harry Potter wand. Bang, bang. That's all I got. This is a 44.5-minute video. If you're still here, go outside. The sun is shining. The sun is shining. The birds are chirping. Fantasy football is an illusion. And, may God have mercy on us all. So, thanks for tuning in this week, next week, last week. I'll have another video breaking down what maybe transpires with these matchups. These are like a lot of Christmas matchups. It's weird when the games are on like Thursdays and Saturdays and Sundays and Mondays. It's like all over the map. So we'll have to see what happens. And then, we'll follow up and do a breakdown of the championship matchup. And who's it going to be? Is it going to be Ben versus Whitney? Or is it going to be Michael versus Katie? Is it going to be Michael versus Whitney? Or is it going to be Ben versus Katie? Those are the ones, the possible ones. So, and how.